This is the Highly Sensitive Club, episode number 72.
Have you been told you're too sensitive, too dramatic, or too much? Do you have big feelings and deep thoughts you don't always know what to do with? I'm Stephanie Linn, a certified life coach and highly sensitive person. I've helped dozens of highly sensitive clients feel more energized, more confident, and more in control of their high sensitivity. In these episodes, you'll get the information and inspiration to level up your life as a highly sensitive person too. Welcome to the Highly Sensitive Club.
Hello, highly sensitive person, and welcome to this week's episode of the Highly Sensitive Club. Today's topic is very important for highly sensitive people like you and me. It's about self-regulation for highly sensitive people and how we can do this in a world that is overstimulating and frankly, a little bit stressful right now. Between our political environment, the rise of AI just within the last year and what that means for the job market, what it means for the way that we're communicating with each other, and a massive change in the way that people approach social media and technology and their screen time. Things are shifting right now for all of us as a highly sensitive person, managing our own emotional, psychological, physical states when we're in a culture with a lot of stress is really crucial to our wellness and our well-being in general. The term self-regulation is something that I've been using for a long time. About 10 years ago, when I really started to work on my healing journey, I discussed self-regulation a lot with my therapist. And it's continued to be a topic of conversation in all of my highly sensitive communities, whether that was when I was working with a highly sensitive coach, whether it's my highly sensitive clients or my highly sensitive mentees through the school that I'm a mentor for. Even if it's out in the wild and I'm seeing other highly sensitive people or even neurospicy people, self-regulation is really important for all of us. Anything that's good for a neurospicy person is going to be good for everybody in general. It creates more options, helps us to see the world with more flexibility, and it redirects our energy back to the things that are good for our bodies, our minds, and our souls, not just for productivity and achievement and accomplishments. My definition of self-regulation is to put yourself into alignment physically, emotionally, and mentally. This means that as a highly sensitive person with a lot of thoughts going through your head all the time, with really big, intense emotions that you're feeling, which then create pretty strong physical sensations, in addition to a nervous system that runs more actively than most people. Self-regulation means that you're able to go from fifth or sixth gear as far as your body, your emotions, your thoughts, and you're downshifting into something that's more stable. You're on cruise control. I've been actively looking into self-regulation lately because I am really interested in different kinds of rest, in how to make decisions more easily and more efficiently so that we can use our energy better. And I'm really interested in breaking old productivity cycles and habits and creating new definitions and new versions of productivity that actually help us highly sensitive people move forward and thrive in our lives. I think many of us, whether neurospicy or not, use productivity against ourselves. We treat ourselves like we're supposed to be perfect all the time, that we're supposed to have limitless amounts of energy, and that if we aren't constantly achieving and accomplishing and pushing ourselves, that something is wrong. This is simply not the case. I continue to come back to these topics because nobody is ever perfect at these things. You don't reach a moment where you have transformed to the point that, oh, suddenly you don't have to worry about self-regulation because you're always self-regulated. You don't get to the point that your nervous system never feels overstimulated. You're never at the moment when you stop being super thoughtful and never have analysis paralysis anymore. You never have a moment where you stop feeling negative emotions. It's just not going to happen. That's part of being a human, and it's part of being a highly sensitive human as well. I've been really actively looking at regulation in terms of breaking my own pattern of productivity. I was just describing this to a fellow highly sensitive person, so maybe you can relate to this trajectory that I have been on and this healing journey that I continue to be on. At first, I was a high achiever and very productive in the traditional sense, meaning I would get a lot of tasks done. I would do a lot for my business and for other people's businesses. I have worked part-time jobs overlapping with each other at various times in my life as I was making career transitions or job transitions. I was working a lot to make money or to grow a business or to just be a good employee or a good worker or a good student for someone else. As I became an adult, this grew into a cycle of burnout and then hitting that wall, needing to spend time decompressing, relaxing, taking a break, resting, and then not really breaking the cycle. I would start out slow. I would think that I was doing something different. It felt like I was going slower and more deliberately, but then it started to get faster and faster and faster. I would add more tasks or more appointments or more projects onto my schedule until my schedule would become completely full again. I didn't have time for rest. I was very focused on what kind of money I was bringing in or what kind of work I was bringing in or what kind of activities I was accomplishing. And I was not focused on rest at all. So this constant burnout, stop, take a week off, recover, get back into the swing of things, think you're okay for about a week or two, and then slowly over time, over the next few months, you build up this momentum again to the point that you're going too fast. This was very common for me. A few years ago, when I went through coach training, specifically to get certified, I started to examine some of these rules that I had about productivity and about activity in general. I realized that you don't have to struggle to be successful. In fact, the people that many of us admire the most are people who work smarter, not harder, as the saying goes. This is not to say that you have to be entitled or coast or hack the system in order to be a successful person. It means that there's a balance, particularly for highly sensitive people, between making progress on something you're excited about and also taking time to rest, decompress, and live your life. We are not here to work all the time. Even if you enjoy working, you still need variety. You still need experiences. You still need time for your body to rest. And especially if you're like most highly sensitive people, you probably sleep anywhere from 7 to 10 hours a single night because you function well without that. You need rest. It's much better when you're eating well, when you're moving your body, when you're out in nature, because those things are good for your physical body. It's the same thing with your emotions and your thoughts. You need time to rest and slow down. I was able to break the cycle of working long hours just for the sake of working long hours, or adding extra tasks to my to-do list simply for the sake of busy work because it made me feel like I was being productive. Occasionally that will still come back into my time and I think, oh, okay, I need to readjust this. I'm going to recalibrate my time, my schedule, and my tasks, and they're going to realign. And it's gotten much easier over time. What this turned into was setting limits on my business time. I'm being much more thoughtful and intentional about how much time I'm spending on work. I still have this drive to be productive. So I started looking around for projects. I started to look for things in my personal life that I could do, like making photo books or trying to come up with an area in the house where I could do dance practice. Then it was making self-development into to-do lists. Not only was I doing morning pages from the artist's way every day, then it became a moon journal, then it became an intention journal, then it became an evaluation journal of how my coaching sessions were going. Then I wanted to learn about this topic and that topic. I have probably a dozen programs that I have purchased over the last 10 years geared towards self-development of one form or another, whether that's Money Bootcamp with Denise Duffield Thomas or Time Genius with Marie Forleo. If you too are a self-development junkie like I am, you can probably identify with this. And all of those things I kept coming back to, like I should pick up that course again. I should go back and watch those lessons again. I should get a new notebook and start taking notes and relearning that material again. I was trying to recreate the cycle of productivity, but because I'd limited it in my work time, I started to turn it into my personal time. Over the last 6 months in particular, I started to break that cycle. How can I just slow down in my personal time? How can I take a little bit more time? How can I take a breather? If you listen to my episode with Dr. Matt Jarman, I have started to do mental resets in the middle of the afternoon. How can I slow myself down at certain times of the day in order to feel more alive in general and even more productive in the times when I am working? That started to go well. But then, of course, this productivity mindset that you have to stay active, you have to be busy all the time, turned into socializing. Now, not only do I have time with my close, important people, but I also have lots of time with my clients. I have lots of time with my mentees through my coach training school. I also have lots of coffee chats and networking, making time to meet people online in groups that I was part of, or to reconnect with old friends or family members that I hadn't seen in a long time. Suddenly, I'm spending 20 to 25 hours a week on my business. I'm spending 10 to 15 hours a week by myself, and I'm spending 45 to 50 hours a week socializing with other people. That is my most recent version of productivity. The dark side of productivity is trying to fill your time so much so that your time is a container that is absolutely bursting with activity. This is the current evolution of productivity that I'm trying to break. Getting more into a balance between my work time, my relationship time, and my self-care time, which includes health and self-development and growth. I thought what this meant in terms of self-regulation was spending more time alone and less time socializing. I love talking to people. As a highly sensitive introvert, I really enjoy one-on-one conversations with people where I can indulge my curiosity. I can ask a lot of questions. We can have deep, meaningful conversations about things that are really important to both of us. I find those conversations incredibly energizing. It's not that I resent the amount of time I'm spending with other people. It's that I feel like I'm overbalanced on that time with other people and not enough time by myself. So I started to add more alone time into my schedule over the last couple of months, batching my content batching my content a month and a half ago really allowed me to do this. And I'm so excited to be able to do that again as well. This is going to add even more availability for me to take alone time. If you go back to my episode on the 4 kinds of rest for highly sensitive people, I felt really good about my physical rest time. That's sleep, eating well, taking walks, that kind of thing. I felt good about my restorative activities, meaning going to the grocery store, prepping food, making a plan for the week so that I have some structure. The things that you have to do to just make your life run more smoothly, I felt like I was doing those pretty well. In my free time, I was doing my refresh activities, meaning the things that you do to fill your cup. I was spending some time learning. I was listening to awesome podcasts. I've been reading about tarot cards and oracle cards and learning new things about that part of my life. I was just having fun. I was playing. But I found that I was resistant to decompression time, which is what I would call a reset. This is scrolling on the phone, watching TV, playing video games, even just reading a book. I found that this hyper productivity that I've grown up with, that has morphed into all these different versions, was being channeled into this resistance to just spending time on leisure and entertainment. Now, if you have never heard another podcast episode, I will tell you now, I am really into stories. I love a great TV show. I love the movies. I love going to the theater and watching movies. I read about 70 to 80 books a year, whether that's audiobook that I'm listening to or physical books that I'm reading. I love to read, and I read at least 2 to 3 fiction to nonfiction. I go through a lot of fantasy, a lot of romantasy, a lot of sci-fi. I like a good mystery. Those stories are really important to me. It helps my empathy. It gives me an outlet for entertainment. It allows me to express my creativity and my imagination. When you're listening to a book or reading a book, you activate that area of your mind that creates those visuals and scenes and moods and puts you in another place and in someone else's life for a little while. And I found that I was resisting it because I felt like, nope, I need to fill my time with someone else. Previously, it had been, nope, I need to do more self-care and self-development time. Before that, it was, nope, I need to do more work. What happened in all of these instances where I was focusing too much on work, too much on self-development, or too much on socializing was that my body and my emotions became dysregulated. This means essentially that things fell out of whack and I was having a hard time getting back into stability and equilibrium. I either felt like my emotions were too big and they were too hard to handle, or I was running away from them and avoiding them, or having a freeze response. Other versions of dysregulation include procrastinating, perfectionism, and hyperactivity, swinging back and forth on the pendulum between overexerting yourself and then crashing and not being able to do anything. These are signs that you are dysregulated. Typically, your first indication will be in your physical body. whether that's a constant tightness in your stomach, chronic shoulder pain or chronic back pain, brain fog, especially in the afternoon. There are lots of physical ways to tell that you are dysregulated. Typically, when I work with my highly sensitive people, it's thoughts and emotions that have become dysregulated. Either you have racing thoughts where you're constantly in a frenzy in your own mind, and it feels hard for you to slow down and just to stop thinking. Or on the emotional side, you are so overwhelmed by the intensity of your emotions that you're avoiding them. You're trying to repress the emotions. This is when you end up snapping at other people because you're feeling tired and resentful. This is when you are overeating or over drinking or scrolling your phone for hours at a time and then feeling upset because you really wanted to do something else with your time. You're numbing because you're so afraid of feeling the actual sensations and the actual emotions in your body and in your mind. When you're dysregulated, this disrupts almost every other part of your life because you probably find yourself pushing through things. You're doing tasks even when you're tired. You're adding more things to your plate and you're not being discerning about whether they actually help you meet your goals or whether you just feel obligated to do them. You are probably not taking enough time outside, enough rest. Then you might be relying on stimulants like coffee or tea or energy drinks in order to get through your day. You might be relying on sugar in the afternoon to give you that extra boost to be able to get through the end of the day. Then you're not sleeping well. Then you're up in the middle of the night processing all of these thoughts and emotions. Are any of these sounding familiar? I say them from experience because I've felt them and I have coached my clients on these very things. I am learning actively that there are lots of different ways to self-regulate your emotions and your body so that you can bring your nervous system back into a state of equilibrium and stability. There are 5 ways in particular that I want to share with you today, highly sensitive person, that I have been actively working on and that I've been helping my clients with too. They're easy. You can do them at any time. The first one is to be thoughtful about the way that you're spending your downtime. For me, I want to spend more of my downtime by myself, not having other people around me. I want to include more entertainment and more stories in my time. I was also working with a client this morning who said temporarily she wants her alone time to be productive. She has projects around her house that are currently distracting her and making it really hard for her to slow down and be relaxed in her own environment. We worked out a plan today for the amount of time that she's going to spend on these projects to get her house back to square one so that when she does spend alone time and when she is decompressing at the end of the day, she doesn't feel that sense of heaviness or obligation because there are things that are left undone around the house. This is something that is completely individual. Do you need more time by yourself to decompress? Are you feeling a craving to learn and to grow that is going unmet? Do you want to move your body? Do you want to be productive? Meaning, is there a short-term project or goal that you would feel satisfied and relieved to have accomplished? Maybe that's putting pictures in frames and finally getting them up on the wall. Maybe that's cleaning out your basement or your storage area and going through those boxes that have been traveling with you from home to home. Maybe it's simply putting paperwork away or going through your email inbox. A temporary boost of personal productivity might be exactly the thing that you're looking for, but you're doing this very intentionally. You're doing this with a firm container and limits around it, and you're doing it with a specific why and a specific goal in mind. For my client who really wants to do this short-term project in order to enjoy her time later, she's looking for that breath of fresh air. She likes to rearrange the furniture so that it feels like things are new, and she's breathing clean energy into her spaces. She's getting into those nooks and crannies and clearing out the dust bunnies because it changes the energy of her home. That's really energizing to her, that fresh feeling of things being clean and clear. I have another client who is spending her time learning how to DJ and learning a new dance style because moving her body and being part of music is what she needs right now to self-regulate. For me, it is more stories, more TV shows. My current addiction is Boy Meets World on Disney Plus because it gives me that cozy, nostalgic 90s feeling. Whatever this looks like for you, decide how you would like to spend your downtime and what would feel really satisfying for you. What part of your life is feeling like it's missing or it's really low right now, and you would like to bring it up and include more time. Number 2, is to fully feel your emotions. What I mean by that is not to shy away from them in your mind and to experience the sensations of your emotions in your body. Think about what anxiety feels like for you in your body. Does it feel like a tightness in your stomach? Is there a clenched feeling in your throat, or do you have pressure in your head? When you pay attention to those sensations in your body and you do it completely non judgmentally, you will notice that the sensations fade over time and the emotions go away. You're not holding on to them. You're not trying to think your way out of them. You're not bypassing them. You are fully feeling them in your body and then letting them pass through you. It's a physical sensation and a somatic experience. Somatic just means in your body. You can work through the emotions and you let them fade naturally. You don't try to avoid them. You don't try to numb yourself out from them. You don't try to distract yourself, or you just let them pass through you, and you find that you actually have more energy on the other side. The third way that you can self-regulate is to spend some time outside. There's something about being outside that really helps us with our nervous system. The fresh air, the trees, or the desert, or the mountains, whatever your terrain is that you love, the ocean or the savannah. People get energized by different kinds of nature. Whatever your natural instincts are, this is really good for your body and for your emotions and for your thought processes. Being in nature is so good for all of our systems, and it encourages movement as well. Which brings me to number 4. In order to self-regulate, in addition to deciding how you want to spend your alone time, feeling the sensations of your emotions, being outside in nature, you also want to move your body. One of my all-time favorite books is called Burnout: How to Unlock the Stress Cycle, by Emily Nagoski, PhD. Emily is a fantastic writer. I love her style and I have enjoyed all of the books she's written. What she describes is that your emotions and your experiences can get caught in your body. In previous iterations of humans, we had a lot more movement as part of our day. There were more opportunities for us to release pent up adrenaline or cortisol and to experience more dopamine and oxytocin that didn't come from screens. We did it in physical ways, which helped us complete the cycle of whatever the emotion was and be able to move forward. It helps you create endorphins. If you do something that you really enjoy, like dancing or yoga or bar class, then you get the added benefit of bringing more joy and entertainment into your day as well. Movement is a key part of self-regulation. And if you are someone who spends a lot of time sitting and a lot of time in screens, of which I am among that number because I spend a lot of time on video calls with my clients who are all over the country and all over the world, you need some time unplugged from screens where you can move your body and you can complete those cycles so that you can release the sensations in another way. You can also take a mental reset, which is to lie down or sit quietly with your eyes closed. Breathing exercises can be really, really powerful for self-regulation. Not only are there a ton of apps now where they will walk you through breathing exercises and meditations, but you can even go to websites where you just take a 2-minute pause, or it will walk you through a guided breathing with a visualization. Sometimes just getting into your breath can help you decompress your nervous system and feel so much more calm and self-regulated. The 5th way that you can self-regulate is with music. Music can change our moods depending on the kind of music that we're listening to. Build yourself a playlist or pick music that gets you into the mood you want to be in. If you want to feel more relaxed, pick more relaxing music. If you want to feel energized or empowered, build yourself an empowerment playlist. I really like dance tunes, house music, trap music. That is the kind of stuff that makes me want to dance. It makes me excited. But I also have pretty eclectic taste as far as jazz music or Celtic music or standards from the 40s and 50s. You can curate whatever experience you want to have and build the kind of playlists that help you calm your nervous system. Maybe you are really into 80s pop, or maybe you just love 90s punk rock. Maybe you're into 2000s shoegaze music because the ambiance of it is calming and relaxing. Whatever your goal is, you know what kind of music helps you feel that way. And if you don't know, you can start experimenting. Pull up different kinds of music that you know you like, and then pay attention to what kind of feelings and moods they bring up for you. Just to recap, when you are dysregulated, you are avoiding, you're procrastinating, you're distracting yourself, you're numbing with foods or beverages or activities. Then you get into the burnout cycle where you're ping ponging back and forth between productivity, burnout, and back again. When you make a regular practice of self regulation, you're able to be more consistent in your life. You can be more present and enjoy every step of the way. You rest more easily. You socialize more deeply and you create more meaningful connections with people. Overall, you feel better in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit. The 5 easy ways for you to self regulate at any time that anyone can do, regardless of your tools, training, or experience, are to number 1, decide how you want to spend your alone time. Do you need more time entertaining? Do you need more time fulfilling projects? Do you need more time being creative? Whatever that looks like for you, decide how you would like to build your time so that you're bringing in more of what you feel is missing. Number 2, fully feel your emotions, both in your head, but also in your body. Pay attention to the emotions and the sensations in your body until they start to fade. If you're curious about this, I have another episode about how to feel your emotions, and I will put a link to that in the show notes so that you can go deeper if you're really feeling like that's a way that you would like to do this. Number 3 is to get in nature. This is good for everyone, but it's especially good for highly sensitive people. What kind of natural environments do you feel best in? Do you need the quiet and the solitude of the trees? Do you need the hustle and bustle of being in a park? What would feel good for you to be in nature? Number 4 is move your body. It doesn't matter if you're doing something gentle like a walk or doing yoga, or if you want to have a dance party in your kitchen, or if you need to go for a run or go to the gym. My highly sensitive people run the gamut. If you want to go to Pilates or Zumba or a bar class, more power to you, but move your body. It helps you regulate your nervous system. It helps you get out of stressful states, and it helps you feel overall more calm and balances your hormones. And number 5, pick your music. Highly sensitive people are very attuned to music, and you can change your energy and your moods simply by changing the playlist that you're listening to. Take some time to think about what kind of music helps you build what kind of moods, try out some playlists, and start incorporating more music into your day. You will find that this helps you regulate your system so fast, so quickly, and it's really enjoyable as well. I continue to be on this journey of figuring out my own balance of self-regulation, and it's a common theme with every single one of my clients. As I mentioned, some of my clients want to short-term, temporarily work on projects so that they can build environments that feel great for them. Some of them want to lock into a new business plan or to hone in on a specific workout routine or change their nutrition. Some of them, like me, just want more time to relax and decompress. We want to give ourselves permission to enjoy stories, be entertained, maybe scroll for 20 or 30 minutes and just have a laugh or watch cute cat videos or cute dog videos because it's good for us. So whatever that looks like for you, I hereby give you permission to find out what self-regulation looks like in your life. These are some very simple techniques. And while I normally focus on your beliefs, your thoughts, and your mindset, today's episode is much more practical and much more somatic. As someone who has a lot of thoughts and a lot of big feels, getting into the physical part of self-regulation has been the game changer for me. So I wanted to pass this on to you. These are very simple techniques that you can use at any time to get outside, to take some deep breaths, move your body, make some decisions, bring some more things into your life, or simply listen to a great song that makes you feel really good. If you are interested in learning more about this or taking this a step further, I am taking one-on-one clients. So if you are interested, hop on a consultation call with me and we can have a conversation about what you're looking for, what's standing in the way, and if we would be a good fit to work together. Go to Stephanie Linn, that's Linn.com, and book a consultation call to get started. It's completely free. It's a very valuable hour, and I love having these conversations. I promise the connection alone will be so refreshing for you, regardless of whether you want to work with me or not. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, and leave a review so that other highly sensitive people can find this as well. My mission is to educate more highly sensitive people who probably don't even know that they are an HSP, so that they know that there's nothing wrong with them. This is just a different way of processing the world. We have lots of strengths. We have our own challenges to overcome, and anything is possible for us. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening. If you're ready to take what you learned today to the next level, head over to StephanieLinn, that's LINN.com, and book a consultation call to get started. I can't wait to see you there, my dear HSP.